What if you could tap into a technique that clears negative energy, obsessors and blockages, but also dissolve past life influences and balance your mind, body and spirit? This unique method uses soul projection to access deep levels of consciousness, and today we will explore more about it. Hi everyone, my name is Lori Graves and this is Whispering Witchcraft. While Apometry is not directly related to witchcraft, it is deeply connected to spiritual practices using concepts of consciousness separation and energy manipulation to address issues in both physical and spiritual realms. For those interested in exploring the wide spectrum of a spiritual practice, Apometry offers a unique perspective on spiritual healing, understanding energies and entities beyond the physical world. Let's start with a little bit of Apometry history. This spiritual healing technique was created by Dr. José Lacerda de Azevedo in Brazil and combines concepts from spiritualism and metaphysics to enable a healing on the physical, mental, and spiritual levels. Originating in the 60s, it was developed as an extension of spiritualism healing methods and is used in Brazil in spiritual centers. While rooted in spiritualism principles, it is a non-religion practice that focuses on soul projection to facilitate healing on multiple levels. Apometry is known for its unique approach, using the concept of separation or unfolding of the mental and astral bodies from the physical body. This disassociation or projection of consciousness allows the practitioners to engage with subtle body, where they address energetic imbalance, influence from past lives, and spiritual obsessions. But what is Apometry? This is a practice focused on guiding consciousness beyond the physical self to interact with the various layers of the spiritual body. It is based on the belief that many health issues originate in the perispirit, also known as the energy field or the subtle body, and then manifest into the physical body. Dr. Lacerda viewed this subtle layer as essential to the human health, and damage in this energy field caused by trauma or imbalance would impact the physical wellness. This idea aligns directly with Spiritism teachings, particularly those of Allan Kardec, who laid a foundation understanding on mediumship and relationship between physical and spiritual planes. Although Apometry is widely recognized within Spiritism circles, it doesn't require a religion affiliation. It is open to individuals regardless age, health, or belief systems. A good example of this is the ramification of this practice being used in Umbanda centers or in Brazilian shamanic practice. But how Apometry works? By inducing a controlled separation of the consciousness, this practice allows both practitioner and patient to explore spiritual dimensions through the separation of the mental and astral bodies from the physical form. This approach is intended to work on subtle energies. The practitioner, also called healer, acts as a guide, while the patient remains fully aware and in control throughout the whole process. The healer normally uses verbal commands and hand movements to assist on raising the vibrational energy. These techniques make it possible to access the perispirit and any blockage or attachments within it. Spiritual entities, guides, or other highly evolved spirits are present and assist with the healing, and often provide insight and protection throughout the process. Apometry used the concept of energy vibration frequencies to align with the quantum physics principle. Dr. Lacerda described Apometry's action through the equation sigma equals kappa zeta, where kappa represents cosmic energy with powerful magnetic and electric properties. Zeta represents the energy force from our physical bodies. The result of these energies, sigma, creates a potent healing force that facilitates energy clearing and realignment within the patient. In a apometric session, one of the first steps is cleansing the energy field. This process involves identifying a blockage or attachment, known as obsessors, within the patient perispirit, or spiritual energy field. These obsessors can stem from unresolved connection with deceased spirits, energy accumulation linked with personal traumas, unresolved emotions, or magical works done against the patient. These cleansing states address these problems, preparing the patient for a deeper healing. After the cleansing, the healer focuses on rebalancing the patient's chakras, which are considered centers of the spiritual and physical energy. This balance act helps realign the patient's subtle energy bodies, allowing for a great harmony and reducing interference from residual negative influences. How it is the Apometry treatment in practice? In initial stages, the patient energy is cleansed and balanced, as we just talked about it, and then it is put into what is known as bilocation stage or unfolded stage. This involves the separation of the mental and astral bodies from the physical, enabling the healer to interact with the patient's spiritual self beyond the constraints of time and space. This bilocation allows the healer to identify and address blockages or obsessors in the patient energy field, often use a combination of deep focus, mediumship work, and verbal commands. The sessions are often guided by spiritual entities, such as a higher spiritual or protective guides who are believed to support the healing process. These entities help to identify and facilitate the spiritual treatment, having direct communication with the healer in charge of the procedure. Spiritual centers often work with guides and spiritual work teams connecting with spiritual colonies designed to give a spiritual assistant, but the spiritual workforce could be arranged differently if this being done in a Umbanda center or in a shamanic practice. But the idea of having healing spirits, a spirit team, guides, and protective spirits is present in all variations of this practice. A little bit more about the obsessors in Apometry. These are seen as a negative influences or entities which are attached to the patient energy field. This can be spirit, karmic connections, low energy force that have a connection with the patient. Also, it can be past life influence, emotion ties in this life, or a spiritual work done against the patient. In practice, Apometry focuses on identifying these obsessors and neutralizing their influence, bringing the patient to a state of mental and emotional balance. About learning Apometry, how it works, the training and the practice. The way I learn, and I believe until today remains more or less the same, is going directly to a spiritist center. There, under a guidance of experienced apometrists, you will learn the techniques of conscious unfolding, energy cleansing, and interacting with the spiritual guides. New practitioners often begin assisting experienced apometrists and later progress to more advanced roles in apometric sessions. These apometric sessions normally are done with multiple persons working at the same time with one patient, having each person a different role during the session. Apometry integrates elements of spiritualism, philosophy, quantum physics, and mediumnic practice to create a holistic approach to spiritual healing. By engaging with the subtle bodies and spiritual influence of the patients, this technique offers a pathway for addressing deep-seated emotional, mental, and spiritual imbalance, providing a unique tool for spiritual healing that emphasizes the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit. I would like to give a little bit of further recommendations to learn a little bit more about Apometry. In English, you can find Dr. Lacerda's main work, the book Spirit and Matter, New Horizon for Medicine, which details the foundational concepts and practice of Apometry. Another source, but this one would be in Portuguese, is the book Manual Prático de Apometria. This book has contributions from Brazilian practitioners and cover practical applications, case studies, and insight for both beginners and advanced students of Apometry, often combining with Spiritism and Umbanda practice. Unfortunately, most of the books that you can find on Apometry, it will be in Portuguese. But you can also get in touch with me, and also you can find a written version of this episode at liminalrights.da. And if you are watching this episode on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I wish you all the best and see you next time. I am Laura Graves, and this was Whispering Witchcraft.